Good morning, DC3. How are we doing today? Thank you. Good morning to those of you who are joining us online. We're so glad that you're here with us as well. We wish you could be here with us in person, but we're glad that you're here with us now. Hey, if you don't know me, my name is Jeff Gauss. But in Minnesota, I heard about this thing called road rage. It always happened in some far away, distant place. But I never actually saw it until living here. Now I've seen 3 instances of road rage in the past week. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of pent-up frustration and aggression people have. And when I see that, I think, man, what is going on in that person's life? What is going on in that person's life? Because you know it's not about the person who cut them off. It's not about the short stop or the tailgating or whatever. I mean, it's not their fault. They only had 4 hours of online instruction. What else? Well, they don't know any better. But there's something that going on. That person has a conflict in their life and in their heart that they have not resolved. That's now they have an opportunity to act out against maybe someone that seems safer because they don't know them. And they act out on that conflict that they're already experiencing, maybe at home with their spouse or with their kids or with a coworker or someone like that. Of course, this conflict is not just on our streets and our highways. Conflict is everywhere. People are everywhere, and everybody has conflict. We have conflict internally in our hearts. We have conflict in our homes. We have conflict in our workplaces. We even have conflict in our churches. I mean, you turn on the news. You get 15 minutes of conflict, a break for the weather, and then more conflict. You're either a peacemaker, a peacefaker, or a peacetaker. A peacemaker is someone who actively makes peace. In fact, they might even enter into conflict for the sake of bringing unity. They're actively seeking out peace. So they look for situations maybe where there's disunity, there's dissension, there's division, and they're helping to make peace in those situations. So you got a peacemaker. And then you've got the peacefaker. The peacemaker is someone who's really a peacekeeper, which is different than peacemaking. Because what a peacekeeper does is they don't enter into the conflict to bring resolution. They ignore the conflict. They try to pacify. Like you think about a pacifier. My kids are past pacifier age, so I don't have one. Imagine I have a pacifier here. So if I have a pacifier, what does a pacifier do? You stick it in the kid's mouth to get him to shut up, right? I have 6 kids. I know this. So you stick it in their mouth to get them to shut up. But you're not actually resolving the problem, right? You're not bringing the solution to why they're crying. You're just trying to pacify them to get them to shut up. That's what a peacefaker does. They just try to pacify. They're more concerned with uniformity than they are with unity. And then lastly, we have the peacetaker. Anybody know a peacetaker? Don't look over. Don't look over. Don't do it. Okay, we have a few peacetakers in our house. I'm not naming names. But you know the kind of people that can almost bring division into any peaceful situation. They just kind of come in and they drop a bomb in the room and then they walk out like, see what I did there? A peacemaker and a peacetaker actually have this in common. They both embrace conflict. But a peacetaker does it for the sake of division. And a peacemaker does it for the sake of unity. They enter into the conflict to bring unity. Probably the irony or the paradox of being a peacemaker is that peacemaking requires fighting. Peacemaking requires fighting. Now, the peacetaker loves to fight, but they're fighting usually the wrong battle and they're fighting the wrong enemy. And so a peacemaking requires fighting, but we have to fight the right enemy in order to win the battle and bring unity. So let me just give you two enemies that we have. If we can identify these enemies, we can begin to win the battle for unity. The first enemy is our pride. Yes. The first enemy is our pride. Our second enemy is what I'm just calling our accuser. Our accuser. Paul says, "For we're not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places." Look, make peace with God. The first thing is to make peace with God. The second step in being a peacemaker is to help others make peace with God. And our task isn't to show them that we are right, but to help them get right with God. Second Corinthians. It's another letter written by the Apostle Paul. 2 Corinthians 5:18 through 19 says, "All of this is a gift from God who brought us back to himself through Christ. And God has given us this task of reconciling people to him." It's an awesome task. He's given us this task of reconciling people to him. Verse 19, "For God was in Christ, reconciling the world to himself, bringing peace, no longer counting people's sins against them. And he gave us here today, he gave us this wonderful message of reconciliation." Third step in being a peacemaker is to then make peace with people. Make peace with people. 18, he says, "Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone." Do all that you can to live in